So, like I was saying, they're going to try to convince you that they have a spirit. And the fourth dimensional frequency, whether you knock on things or you say things 4 times, that's not the frequency that's going to get rid of them. That's just going to spread them. Like I said, you can do that right now by yourself, and you're going to see uh, how things manifest. But and like I said, they never stop touching you. So if they can continuously touch you without being there with you, that's going to attack your root and your sacral chakra. So if they can keep you in your lower self and try to dictate you in your root chakra and your lower self, that's where they're going to try to do everything from. So if they can keep you falling from grace, all the way fell from grace at your lower self, your lowest self, that's where they're going to keep you and try to dictate everything. It's like being a passenger in your own body, you know? So the point that I'm trying to make is, just like I mentioned earlier, about their whole existence is like staying high all the time. And as soon as they come down, they take another hit, or they do another line, whatever the case may be. They're constantly touching you. Us, we should be blocking everything. Everything is nothing and nothing is everything, right? So we have the capability of, I'm sorry, I have notes. We can do everything and anything in the vibration of nothing, because nothing is everything and everything is nothing. That's the real fifth dimensional frequency. They can't do that. They have to pat you on the butt. They have to try to get you to pat them on the butt. They have to sit there and touch you, whether they're touching yourself in a physical and a spiritual aspect, your energetical energies aspect of your root and your sacral chakras, which is the first two, or they're touching your fingers, they're touching your toes, they're touching this, they're touching that. What do I mean by that? That means they're constantly touching you. They don't block anything. So as soon as you start to block everything, like I said, everything is nothing. Nothing is everything. And we can exist there because that's the real fifth dimensional frequency. Ultimately, that's the frequency that gets rid of them. They can't do that. They have to stay constantly touching something. We don't have to pat each other on the butt. We don't have to stick our tongues out and have something happen in order for us to breathe. We don't have to do all that stuff. They do. Why do you think your body parts move when unwarranted? Why do you think your body parts move when unwarranted? Whether it's your fingers, your toes, your tongue. Why do you think that is? That's the negative vibration of the fourth density. Like I said, some people are in the fourth density. They try to be positive, yeah. And some people are just in the fourth density that foot soldiers. So when your body parts move like that, that's the nanotechnology that are coming through the chemtrails, the foods you eat, the air you breathe, the water you drink, the false so-called spirituality and everything. But that's the nanotechnology. It's trying to download its interface, its programming into your biological self, and therefore trying to corrupt your spiritual self. It's trying to interface its whole existence into you in order for you to become its existence. If that makes any sense. Basically trying to turn you into AI. It's a sick game that these folks are playing. It really is. Like I said, we don't have to pat each other on the butt. We don't have to do none of that stuff here. We don't do that. No. We're walking around like the Heisman Trophy all day. What does that mean? That means we got the ball. We ain't gonna fumble this. No. We got the ball. We're blocking everything. You ain't touching us. Stop touching us. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? Straight up. We don't get down like that. They do. So when you take them away from their machinery and you get them to stop touching you in that way, look at how they react. It's easy for us. We can walk through all day like that, whether we're doing something or not. We can walk through all day like that. That's what we should do, blocking everything. That way your fingers won't move, your body won't move when unwarranted, Your tongue's not going to be hanging out waiting for somebody to get licked. It's not going to happen that way. They have to do that stuff and remove them from that, block all that, and take them away from their machines in the right way. See how they react. See exactly how they react. They're not going to know how to react. They're going to be touching and licking and patting each other on the butt all day. And you're going to see who is who. Like I said, when you're woke and you're really in the fifth dimensional density and the real fifth dimensional frequency, you're going to see how they react. You're going to see who's not able to be there. They will reveal themselves. Like I said, tell them not to blink when you blink. Remain God and in your higher self at all times, no matter what you're doing. They have no care for children. They don't even have care for each other. That's just who they are. Why are they that way? They have no control over the way they are. They can't do anything else. Period. So like I said, that's the Neanderthal caveman mentality that they have never been able to shake. That's why the planet is where it's at, being dictated by machines. That's why the planet has a Neanderthal caveman mentality. It's because they're being dictated by beings and entities that have that Neanderthal caveman mentality. They can't get where they're at right now. They can't go no any further than that. There's no elevating for them. There's no ascending. There's no nothing. That's just who they are. That's the way they've been existed, and ultimately that's the way they're going to go out. So like I said, don't show them any emotion. Don't show them anything. They're trying to turn you into human Wi-Fi. That's why your fingers move. You can stay still. Sit and meditate. Sit in one spot. Breathe easy. Meditate. Keep your mind and spirit focused. See how many distractions you have. That's the fourth density. Like I said, the real fifth dimensional frequency, there's nothing. You'd be able to sit there all day and just travel places. They can't do that. So they're trying to turn you into human Wi-Fi. The vaccinations and everything has everything to do with that. And the towers as well. These 5G towers. Where do you think they pull Wi-Fi from? You can't see Wi-Fi. But if you're looking at your phone right now, if you're looking at your computer, if you're looking at your TV, whatever the case may be, that's Wi-Fi. But we can't see that frequency. Some of us can hear it, some of us can see it. That's what they're trying to turn you into, human Wi-Fi. So like I said, we have to block everything. I'm sorry, I keep looking down. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at my notes. So we have to block everything. You know? That's not how we breathe. We don't get over by getting over on people. That's not how we do things at all. No. The real energy and the real density of the fifth dimension, the real existence in the fifth dimension is spreading nothing but love. Because like I said, love is everything. Everything is love. They don't have that. So you're going to see what they have to do and how long they're going to stay stuck there and wait for you to pat them on the butt, like I said, or do something in order for them to say something a certain way, in order for them to breathe, in order for them to maintain that high, just like a parasite. That's like throwing parasites and leeches, in pools of blood. That's basically how we got to look at them. That's why I don't feel anything for them. So they're constantly touching you. Constantly touching you. They never stop. Remove them from that. Do it the right way, though. And the way I'm saying it right now is not out of anger. It's out of love. Not love for them. It's out of love because I know how to defeat them. I know how to get rid of them. For those of us that are born and that are really into the fifth dimension, we know better. Really. We know how to get things done the right way. The reason being that that's the only density and frequency that gets rid of them is because, like I said in the previous part 4, is because they're not allowed there. Like I said, the Bible will tell you half truths and other spiritualities around the world. Islam calls them jinn. is that they're fourth dimensional entities. They're fourth dimensional beings. They fell from grace. They're not allowed to go to the fifth dimension or beyond. They're not allowed to elevate. They can't elevate. So they're stuck in that dimension. They have to possess somebody in the fourth dimension, whether it be through your dreams, whether it be through any type of emotions or negative acts or whatever, in order to come into this third dimension and be able to see through your eyes. Like I said, to make you a passenger in your own body. They can't do anything else. It's now, with your politicians and things like I said, things that I mentioned, they have ways to transfer consciousness into a clone or into a robot, so that reptilian entity is now able to exist in this density without having to possess anybody. But the only way to get rid of them is the real fifth dimension. That's the only way. That's the only way to get rid of them is the real fifth dimension. They're not allowed there. They can't go there. Because once you get past the third, once you get past the fourth into the fifth, now you're on your way back to the Almighty Spirit. You're on your way to higher consciousness, to your real, true God self, and remaining in that frequency and going higher and elevating and ascending. There's nothing they can do about that. You're going to see how they react and how they look at you. And you're going to see the look in their eyes. You're going to see them with their mask off. The thing is not to show it any fear, not to show it anything. Just look at it. You know you're God. So just look at it. And, okay, now what? So like I said, they have nowhere to go. They can't go in the ground. They can't go to outer space. They can't stay here. Where else are they going to go? Where else are they going to go? Where else are they going to go? It's time for them to be non-existent. We can't feel sorry for them. They won't even be a memory. They'll just be forgotten about because where we're going, there's no room for them. Where we're going, I can't even describe it. I can't even describe it. But they're not going to have a place there because they were never meant to have a place there. So like I said, stay in the fifth dimension, the real fifth dimension. No getting over on people just to get over. Endure, because we deal with the most pain out here. Until we're fully there, until they're fully out of here, that's what we're going to have to do, and congregate with people that are in your right frequency. Know who your tribe is, congregate with them, help each other out, help each other stay elevated and constantly learning, constantly digesting this food for thought and evolving spiritually. Next thing I want to talk about is not to share your energy with just anybody. I mentioned that in another video, but the time is now to really stay away from these bots and these people that have no, what's the word I'm looking for? Have no desire to ascend, just to stay where they're at and continue doing the same thing and just staying there in the same spot, no matter where you're at in life. But people that don't want to go anywhere, people that are just on a negative frequency all the time, negative vibrations that have to do negative things in order to feel good about themselves on a second by second basis, that are continuously selling out. Don't share your energy with them. And that's sexually or non-sexually. I mean, yeah, we got to acknowledge people. We got to be cordial because we are God. But at the same time, we don't have to give them anything. We really don't. So remain in the fifth dimension. This goes for all people. Not all people, because not all people have spirits. So those of us with spirits, melanated people, carbonated people, Asiatic people, Asian people. I think out of all races actually on this planet right now, Asian people are the ones that are really the most woke. I think a lot of them are pretty much born woke. Reason being is because they held on to tradition. They never forgot who they were. It wasn't really stripped from them like it was from us. So all their meditation practices, their diet, the different gods and deities they believe in, they've pretty much sustained it throughout time. Which is why they move accordingly. Same thing with Eastern Indians and other indigenous races that have held on to tradition without having most of it stripped from them. So black people, we have to get back to that. Melanated and carbonated people, We have to get back to that. So that's why I say to look within, because they're not going to teach you that at these universities. They're not going to teach you that on cable TV. They're not going to teach you that anywhere. We're teaching it to you. But most importantly, you got to teach it to yourself. You're the one that has to meditate. You're the one that has to go within. You're the one that has to seek the answers that all these questions that you have, because you have the answers. All you got to do is meditate, man, woman. But start living right. Start eating right. Have the right intentions with everything. Breathe right. Treat people right. Even these devils, you don't have to treat them no way. You don't really have to acknowledge them. Just don't feel anything for them. You'll be all right. Because they're going to want to get something from you. Something. But the trick is not to give them anything. So, like I said, we're on that path to get back to where we once were. They know it. There's nothing they can do about it. That's why they're pulling out all the stops right now to try to stop the inevitable of what's happening. And you can see it. If you remain in your God self and just stay doing this all the time, you're going to see how they are. They're going to want you to pat them on the butt. They're going to sit there and wait for you and keep touching you and keep pushing certain buttons until they get you to do something, until they get you to fall from grace on a second-by-second basis, which is why they'd be able to say, I said no thank you. But they're not going to be able to say it like us because they can't. They're not allowed into the fifth dimension. They're going to try to, but they're not going to be able to. You're going to see. Trust me. I know what I'm talking about because I do this every day, all day. It never stops with me. So remain in the fifth dimension. Continue elevating, continue ascending. Know thyself, you will know thy enemy. I can't put it any better. Know thyself, you will know thy enemy. Like I said in the other videos, for all of y'all that are not in the fifth dimension, for all of y'all that have to do stupid and dumb things, create negative energies to feel better about yourself, to try to create so-called good energy, I don't feel nothing for y'all. I really don't. There's nothing in me for y'all. But for those of us that are in the real fifth dimension, especially the women, the goddesses, I love y'all with the deep, deep passion you'll never understand. Once again, this Ra. Peace.